Okay, it seems like we do have quorum. We'll be ready to start. Good afternoon, everybody. All right, pursuant to Chapter 551, Title 5 of the Texas Government Code, the Texas Opening Meetings Act, notice is hereby given that a meeting of the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, BCIC, will be held on Thursday, May 15th, 2025 at 5:34 p.m. here at the eBridge Center. Item number 1 will be to call roll. Let's see, we have Dr. Rose Gowan.
Present.
Oh, please make sure that you all turn on your mics.
Present.
Thank you. Cesar Lopez did mention that he will not be in attendance today. Murad Abu Salim.
Present.
Thank you. Sergio Martinez.
Present.
Tracy Wickett.
Here.
Thank you. Mark Horowitz mentioned he was not going to be in attendance today. Eva Garcia.
Present.
Thank you. For item 2, public comments, we did not have any comments as of today. Moving on to consent items 3, all items are considered to be routine and will be enacted by one motion. If requested by a board member, any items may be taken off the consent agenda by the chair for individual consideration. Please review the items on your screen.
Does anyone have any questions, or can we hear a motion to approve in group?
I make a motion to approve the consent item agenda.
Do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Next.
Items for individual consideration. Item number 4, discussion, consideration, and acknowledgement of the March 2025 financial reports and the quarterly investment report as of March 31st, 2025.
It's all yours.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Board. My name is Rafael Garcia from the City of Brownsville, the Finance Department, and I'm here to present the financial statements through March 31, 2025. April, we haven't had a chance to complete them, but we've started working on that. So next meeting, we'll present April. Okay, and the first slide that we have a summary of the balance sheet. We do have $796,000 in the cash accounts. We do have $15,867,000 in the investments accounts, including the money market accounts. And we have $538,000 receivable from the City of Brownsville for the sales tax for the month of February. The accounts payable were at $20,352, and those are payments to the vendors. And then we do have the fund balances as of March 31, 2025, of $17,181,853, and it's all composed, broken down, between restricted $491,000, the committed $11,489,000, the assigned $170,000, the rainy day fund, the emergency reserve at $3 million, and the unrestricted that's available is at $2,030,194.
Before you go past that slide, can you remind us one more time, because it is confusing, the difference between restricted and assigned?
The restricted is something that you have with a legal entity or a local government that, you cannot use those monies for regular operations. You have to, like, for example, under the restricted, what we have that dignity trailer.
Okay,
It's one of those items that we have there.
okay,
That's just since donations and everything is strictly for the dignity trailer, it's included there. Plus, it also includes what we have, the bonds payable.
Yeah,
for
and the airport.
For the airport, I think it's at 355,
Yeah, 365.
right? 365. So that's what we have under the restricted.
okay,
The assigned is basically projects that you identified and you already put some money aside that you're gonna go ahead and fund during the fiscal year.
okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Then we do have an analysis of the fund balances by month. We do show the committed balances at 11.5 million, the unrestricted at 2 million, the rainy day fund at 3 million. We do show again the restricted at 491,000, and the assigned at 170,000. And basically, if you can see the increase in the committed, that was in the last board meeting, that you all approved about 4.3 million in quality of life projects. That's why the decrease on the unrestricted. Any questions on that slide? Now we have a comparative budget to actuals and a comparative from last fiscal year, from 2024 to 2025. We do have total revenues of $4,025,597. Compared to last year, we were at $3,746,000. So we're like $300,000 ahead from last year. Budget-wise, we've collected so far 43% of what was budgeted on the revenue sides. Then we have the administrative cost of $748,000 compared to last year at $601,000. The e-bridge operations, $127,000 to $144,000, which is less than last year at this point. And then we have the strategic initiatives, which includes the big grants, quality of life, community development, entrepreneur and innovations, and discretionary funds. So the total expenditures was at $2,147,484, compared to last year as of March 31st was at $4,784,000. So we actually spent it less during this fiscal year. And on the percentage-wise against the budget, we've incurred expenses approximately of 18% of what was budgeted in expenses. Any questions on this slide? Yes.
The last year budget, I see the end net position was negative. Can you explain that? Because my understanding is that.
That was actually the net change, that your expenditures were in excess of the current revenues in 2024 for those 6 months. But you still had a fund balance positive.
Sorry,
Yes,
so that wasn't the end of the.
it's like the net profit or net loss for the,
Yeah, I forgot that. This is just.
this chart shows an analysis of the sales tax collections. Again, sales tax is behind 45 days. We don't know the numbers until, like, for example, this month, we should be getting the numbers for the month of March. So as of February, we were at 3.2 million collected, basically the same amount as last year. There wasn't much of a variance, and we had budgeted at 7.1 for fiscal year 2025 on the sales tax collections. So right now, we're at 2.2, we have a 2.2% increase of sales tax compared for the first five months collective and sales tax. The last slide that we have is the quarterly investment report. This is something that we present on a quarterly basis. We do show $1,243,806 in the demand deposit accounts. We do show $5,068,240 in the money market accounts. And in the investment pools, the Texas class and the tax pools, we are at $13,175,925. So your total investments as of March 31 were at $19,487,971. And the percentages were actually, the weighted average yield is at 4.2% for the first quarter of 2025, for the quarter of March 31, 2025. And as we can see, we are, based on policy, we need to have at least less than 75% under investments because of the liquidity of cash. We need to be able to get the cash as soon as we can, if needed. 75%? We cannot be over 75% on the investments. We have to be under 75%. And right now, we're at 68. As of this day, we were at 68% on the investments. Any questions?
Do we need to acknowledge, or, so if there are no
Yes.
questions, we need a motion to acknowledge.
Motion to acknowledge the financial report as presented.
And second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is, item is acknowledged.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 5, discussion and acknowledgement of the Audit and Oversight Committee's audit recommendations.
Board, I would like to introduce Luis Salinas.
Hello.
from the
my
city
name-
of Brownsville.
Yes, my
And
name is
so-
Luis Salinas.
So we've been working with Luis and Arnold Perez, who is sitting in the back, who is the auditor, and for the past few years, but really heavily for the past 3 or 4 months. They presented their audit to us the first quarter of this year, and so gave us time to look it over, as well as then reply with our management responses or any discrepancies that we had with their findings. So today he's presenting, so that way you have an overview of what they found, as well as it's already been placed on the City of Brownsville's website. And so it's already been approved by the Oversight Committee as well.
Correct. So let me just adjust this. Okay, so my name again is Luis Salinas, Deputy City Auditor for the City of Brownsville, and I'll be going over the audit of the Brownsville Community and Improvement Corporation. So the city's auditor's office objectives for this engagement was to evaluate the organization's policies and procedures for conducting business. The review of the Brownsville Community Improvement Corporation, BCIC, was included in the fiscal year 2023 audit plan, which was approved by the Audit and Oversight Committee meeting held September 28, 2022. The audit was opened August 2nd, 2023. Due to unforeseen staffing turnover within the city auditor's office, the engagement was delayed. We conducted interviews with BCIC staff, requested copies of their policies and procedures, and conducted testing on expenditures, grants, and agreements. This review was completed in April 2025. We made 7 recommendations and presented report number 25-2 to the Audit and Oversight Committee on May 2nd, 2025. A copy of this report can be found at our city website. The URL is listed there. The review of the City of Brownsville's annual comprehensive financial reports found no material weaknesses pertaining to BCIC. A review of the annual comprehensive financial reports for fiscal years 2019 to 2023 did not find any language indicating material weaknesses relating to BCIC. Expansion of written policy and procedures needed for program management. Recommendation 1, develop written policies and procedures for their staff that govern their administration of programs in keeping with best practices. Management's response, BCIC is developing a comprehensive program management policy that outlines the framework for administrating all programs in alignment with industry best practices. Each active program will also have updated guidelines and standard operating procedures to guide staff through implementation and compliance. These documents will be reviewed annually and made publicly available to promote transparency and clarity. Updates to progress verification and reimbursement supporting documentation controls needed. Recommendation 2, retrain their staff to ensure compliance with grant guidelines when processing reimbursement requests. Management response, BCIC will conduct mandatory retraining of staff on grant reimbursement procedures, including documentation standards and acceptable proof of payment. Reimbursement process guidelines and a standardized reimbursement review checklist will be implemented, and quarterly spot checks will be conducted to ensure ongoing compliance. Post-award follow-up needed to determine if economic impact was achieved. Establish policy and procedures for the staff to verify if the economic impact provided by participants was achieved. Management response, BCIC will develop a formal post-award economic impact verification policy that outlines procedures for confirming whether participants achieved the reported outcomes. As part of this policy, staff will use a standardized checklist during program closeout to gather supporting documentation such as job creation reports, capital investment, and other relevant indicators. BCIC will also explore 6 to 12-month post-award follow-up surveys and begin tracking aggregate data to evaluate the long-term impact of its programs. Improved coordination needed between BCIC staff and City Secretary's office. Recommendation 4, work with the City Secretary's office to obtain relevant staff training and create an internal policy and procedures that can aid their board's compliance with relevant sections of Chapter 38, including the filing of personal financial statements, conflict of interest forms, and recusal from the meeting if a conflict of interest is present. Management response, BCIC will coordinate with the City Secretary's office to obtain board and staff training on Chapter 38 compliance. An internal compliance policy and tracking calendar will be developed, and annual ethics refresher training for board members will be introduced.
1 second, Mr. Salinas. Chapter 38 in the Texas Administrative Code, Chapter 38 in the city ordinance.
City ordinance.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you.
Travel authorization and expense policy elements needed, additional support for policy exceptions and/or departures, updates to travel authorization expense policy, and periodic management reviews. Recommendation 5, document exceptions and/or deviations from the BCIC travel authorization expense policy. If deviations are not due to protected accommodations, management should recuperate expenses from employees as stipulated in Section 4. Management response, BCIC will document any travel deviations directly in the final travel expense report, along with supporting explanations. In cases where reimbursement is not approved, staff will receive a written memo or email explaining the adjustment. Staff will also be required to review and acknowledge the travel policy annually to ensure awareness of current procedures. Recommendation 6, update the travel authorization expense policy to mirror the City of Brownsville's limit of 15% allowable tip. Management response, BCIC is revising its travel policy to include a maximum allowable tip for meals and transportation. The policy and associated travel request and expense report forms will be revised accordingly. Staff will be notified via a formal memo, followed by an informational training session to ensure understanding and compliance with the complete travel policy. Recommendation 7, perform periodic management reviews to ensure adherence and properly document their efforts as stipulated in BCIC's travel authorization expense policy. Management response, BCIC will conduct quarterly internal audits of travel expenses. Findings will be documented in internal reports, and annual summaries will be shared with the board to support oversight and improvements. The follow-up, we will reach out to BCIC management within 18 to 24 months to follow up on the implementation of the recommendations. We want to thank BCIC management and their staff for their cooperation in this engagement. And again, the audit report 2502 is available on the City of Brownsville's website.
Does anyone have any questions?
Luis, earlier you said 6-month follow-up, but now it says it's 18 to 24. So what's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah, that was our response, like of us internally following up
Okay.
with us. But the 18 to 24 months is with the City of Brownsville.
Right. For once we finalize and publish any audit, the Yellow Book requires us to do a follow-up, and usually we'll do it between 18 and 24 months. That allows management enough time, hopefully, to implement some of the recommendations or provide us additional feedback on why one recommendation might have changed by the time we're doing the follow-up. So that gives some time. And of course, if they complete the task in 6 months, they're more than welcome to provide us that feedback, and then we can close that recommendation.
I would suggest you do that.
We are. We actually are working. Actually, Victoria has found an app to help us, a platform to help us with actually training, and we have to go through and we get quizzed on it. So we have that, and then we are actually looking at a CRM platform, so that way our compliances with our programs as well as internal staff management can be all in one place, because right now it's just scattered. I mean, we have folders upon folders and Excel sheets. So this will help us get to where productivity is more streamlined.
So yeah, I would say that every piece that you finish,
Yeah.
shout about it and say, report back to the teacher.
Yeah, and then there are some of our management responses in your packet. We also have it to where a few of them will go back to the board as we initiate, so we have approval, and everybody's on the same page on that, and the expectations for myself as well as the staff.
Okay, a question, and thank you for trying to get it done sooner. Ideally, if it is done within 6 months, are we able to come back and give an update and see if it meets the standards that you recommended?
So usually that would be a memo within the 18 to 24 months, and we'll speak to what has progressed. But during the Audit and Oversight Committee, we would be updating annually where the recommendations and what the status they are amongst all the other reports as well. So those would, the ones that are completed earlier will be reported on during that committee work. But as mentioned in the full report and in management's response, they do provide a timeline and the person responsible for that recommendation. So it is, they've done a good job of saying in this quarter of this year, we should be able to complete that. So.
Accountability.
Does anyone have any questions about like examples for any of those which they can certainly speak to?
Well, not necessarily to examples, but 2 notes for BCIC on our management side. I think the program management policies, you know, obviously having well-trained staff, and on the the economic impact one, I liked those 2 recommendations a lot, and I think it would benefit us board members to also, of course, have a very clear and thorough understanding of the program guidelines as we are the decision makers, and then of course understanding as part of like scoring criteria for selection, project selection or award selection, the economic impact factors that get developed. So I think those are 2 key pieces that I think as a board member I'd like to be more informed on.
Okay.
But for you both, number one, I respect the accountability piece. I'm a big fan of making sure that everyone understands that we're all playing by the same rules, that everybody understands the rules and how we follow them. I like to kind of follow the paper trail back, and I have a question about that 15% tip max. Where does that come from? Is that a policy of the city ordinance, or, you know, where does that come? Because, you know, in these new restaurants, especially the nicer ones that we're seeing, when you pay, it's like option 18%, 20%, 22%, or if you come with a large group, they automatically apply 18%. So that's like a side note, but I'm curious where that comes from.
So the city
how do we
has
change that?
internal financial policies, and the city, and which BCIC is not necessarily prescribed to follow. It was just an example that the city did provide a limit, which is 15%, but in manager response, they did mention they're going to review that policy, and they didn't necessarily commit to the 15%.
Yeah.
So there's some flexibility, but to establish a cap would be good to be able to provide your staff an ability to.
I like that language better, establishing a cap.
And we actually, Victoria and I are actually working on that, because we, as you said, that there are places sometimes it's just,
Sure.
it's our automatic 18%.
Exactly, yeah.
And so we have thought of that, as well as like at the Ubers, you know, the minimum is $3, so we've also put that, sometimes that's even more than 15%. So we're looking at that to make sure that it doesn't hinder us in what we're doing, but also it makes us accountable and mindful of what we're going to be, you know, how the tip goes.
And the max is important because you don't want instances of like 60% tip. And
Yeah, and that's where, you know, the problem was with the transportation, is where you've seen in the report on the high tips was the transportation.
But it comes from a policy, not an ordinance.
Yeah.
In this case, so.
Thank you very much for the audit. Just again, to Corey and the staff, more of like details that we need more verification from you about, especially the policies for management. You mentioned the action will include also reviewing of these policies on a periodic time. So who's going to conduct these reviews, right? And who's going to assess if these procedures that you are developing are best practices or not best practices? So you don't have to answer now, just questioning that particular detail of the action that you're proposing. And the second one is regarding the impact. I love it, I like it. It's part of why we're gonna show off the reasoning and justification for these programs. But again, is that gonna be included in the application packet in advance for the applicants to know that eventually there will be economic impact study that will be conducted, not to penalize them per se, but just to ensure that what we are supporting is.
Yeah, ideally, when the project agreement, you would have, you know, templates of what to, the expectations.
Okay.
Yeah.
And my last question regarding that is like, how soon you foreseeing including these kind of updates, templates?
I think our
Is it
management
this year
response
or
for
next year?
something like that was the first quarter of, so October of this year.
Okay, thank you.
So reflects, you know, moving forward for the new fiscal year.
Okay, but I'm sorry, but you're still going to conduct the impact for previous.
Yes.
Like regardless, but
Yeah.
that template will be included.
Yeah,
Okay.
where our shortfall was that we don't have the paper trail. So we have it on Excel, but we don't have a formal paper at the end saying it's been completed and what was completed. So those are the shortfalls that BCIC has. So that's where we're going to change. And I just really want to quick say, Luis and Arnold, it was a really pleasure working with both of y'all through this process, especially in the last quarter here and coming with the management responses. They've been very professional, but very easy, and both of them have really put it to make us better understand what their findings were.
I'm glad, thank you. Appreciate the feedback.
Yeah, and likewise, thank you very much for all your hard work. And I guess, is it fair to say within 6 months, we'll get at least an update on the progress of this?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
And I will say that the city had trouble there with auditors that were coming and leaving and moving, and it's a pleasure to bring Arnold back to the city. And he's so nice because he began in the health department.
I've worn many hats. Now that I get older, I need to wear more hats too as well, but
Thank you both very much.
thank you very much. Thank you.
Do we need to acknowledge? Yeah. Motion to acknowledge.
Motion to acknowledge.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Item number 6, consideration and action to approve the following fiscal year 2025 business improvement and growth, BIG, rental reinvestment program application for A, 901 East Elizabeth Street, tenant Monarca Baja Kitchen Restaurant, applicant Alejandro Najera in the amount of $15,000. And this was tabled on the February 24th, 2025 board meeting.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm representing Monarca Baja Kitchen by Mr. Alejandro Najera, or Nomad Designs LLC. It was tabled with some questions on their opening date and their purchase date. So I did speak with Mr. Najera. They purchased the building 12/23, but did not open until 10/24. And they ended up applying on February 3rd of this year. Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Right there. So it needed the 3 months? Yes, it needed the 3 months, and it was under the 6 months that they applied for. Because the gap on the guidelines is after 3 months, but it has to be before they hit the 6 months for them to be able to apply for the rental. Right now, their annual rent is $67,104, mapping out to about $5,592 per month that they're paying. So their request is for the $15,000 with assistance for $1,250 monthly. For employees, they were able to bring on 14 full-time and 5 part-time. Their lease is from December of '23 up until December of 2030. And there we go. So as of right now, the budget for the big program is $800,000. We've so far awarded $247,685. Current balance is the $552,315. With the request today of $15,000, the balance would be $537 with $315.
Done?
Questions?
Yes. General, not just for this specific, because I'm getting old, I'm starting to forget stuff. It'll be good to just quick reminder of the main guideline for each one of these initiatives at the beginning. Just like, so you mentioned the rentals, grant that we have here. If I'm not mistaken, I remember there was a certain period of how long the business has to be operational before they qualify.
Right, yeah, it's
So what's that?
the 3 months. They have to be open 3 months, and they cannot apply after 6 months. So in between those 3 to 6 months, they have to apply for the rental assistance. And the agreement does have to, their lease agreement has to be over 2 years.
Okay, and they meet that requirement.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
So my question is, it's a great picture. My question is, obviously we're going to be improving
Mhm.
these grants in terms of how we monitor them and what criteria they need to meet in order to meet the criteria.
Yes, ma'am.
basically.
Mhm.
So when are we going to start? I know you said the next fiscal year, but these that we're approving tonight, will they be told along the way, you know what, these are how you will be judged as we move forward?
Yes,
I
so.
don't think we should wait till October to tell them that.
No, what I've already done with this last application was I started implementing initial site visits during their application, where I go over what's going to be going on within this next time period of their agreement with us, which I will be further implementing once everything is finalized. But they are aware I will be doing quarterly visits. We'll be reaching out and asking for updates as far as staffing, if that's still the case. And if there's other avenues that we can assist them with within BCIC and eBridge.
Which includes quarterly sales tax reports, which we have not asked before.
Good. And do they own the building, or does someone else own the building?
They're renting it. They're renting
They're
it.
renting?
Yes.
And in the application, do they divulge who the owner of the building is?
Yes. Yes. I will say that I started in August, so I was learning the programs as I go before I started getting with Corey on recommendations. So now that I've really gotten my feet wet with the program and how everything goes, we've been talking these last couple of months. That way we can make some recommendations and improvements on the program, and just more accountability from us and the business.
Yeah, we see holes in our guidelines that we feel like we can strengthen them, get a better grip on. But just for the rent subsidy, they're only for tenants. Property owners do not qualify for this rent subsidy.
However, there's nothing that prevents the property owner to raise the rent, considering they know they now have a BCIC grant.
Yeah, and that's true, but that can happen in every community that has something like that. But we've talked about, like, if the property owner uses the big for the improvements, the grants, in turn to try to lease it, we can maybe strengthen it to where we can have fair market value for the next 3 years for the rent or something.
I think that, I agree. I think that in addition, and this, I'm just throwing this out there, but in addition to monitoring the progress of this company, I think we should also monitor the progress of the owners of the buildings. Because if they're gonna behave badly or change their manner because there's a BCIC grant,
Yes, ma'am.
then we need to know that, and we need to perhaps avoid using those buildings.
Yes, ma'am. We've had some discussions. We're gonna.
Yeah.
Doesn't the program require that the lease extend for a certain period of time?
Yes.
Over
So
2
as long
years.
as
A
the
minimum
lease
of 2
has
years.
the rent specified, which most leases would, it would prevent at least an immediate reaction to the grant coming
Yeah.
in. Because during the period when the tenant is getting the rent subsidy, BCIC knows what their rent is, and it couldn't be
For
raised.
2 years at least.
But there have been instances that I won't go into that involve not just rent rate rising, but other repairs. But that's for another day.
I'd also be curious, just to kind of monitor the ownership, is like how many renters or tenants are, subsidies or assisted rental assistance programs are benefiting one owner. So
True.
just
That's true.
outside.
Yeah.
We have that too, right? We have that data.
Yeah,
for
we can
so
pull it.
present.
Yeah,
And again, with this.
I have a, not specific to this application, but in general, because I've been hearing kind of conflicting, updates or information. Are we limiting the big program to the boundaries of the historical downtown, or is it?
It is a mini cultural district as well.
It goes from 6th Street and the frontage road International, and then kind of wraps up to Palm Boulevard.
It
So it's
points
larger
out-
than just the
Yeah,
core.
it points out right where Valley Baptist is, I believe.
All right. I
Yeah.
highly recommend you, since you're overseeing these programs, to somehow make that information accessible and clear to the public, because from my own personal experience, there are some confusion of like where is allowable and eligible. So please do that
Okay.
as soon as you can in a manner that you feel is easy and clear. for the
I'll work
public,
Okay.
on marketing.
because
We have a
we wanna
map,
avoid these kind of
Yeah,
confusion. We
there
wanna
is a
make
map in the
but maybe
guidelines,
there's
but
something
it's
we
a few
can do
pages in.
with,
these- I'm just
So
telling you
Yeah.
we'll think of a
what
way
I'm hearing
to.
from the public, so just please make sure that these information is accessible and clear,
Mhm.
so there is no confusion out there amongst the
you.
potential applicants.
yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Thank you.
Do we need to approve each one individually?
It's just one.
One, okay, so any other questions, or can we have a motion to act?
I'll motion to approve this application.
I'll second.
All in
Corey.
favor?
Aye.
Scared me. I
Anyone
was like, I have more than one.
Motion
I
passes.
was a little worried.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7, consideration and action to approve the following applications for the Brownsville Small Business Recovery Fund contingent upon receiving additional documentation from applicants as required by the Housing and Urban Development, HUD, federal agency. We have A through E.
Good afternoon, Board. We have 5 recovery fund applications for your consideration today. All are complete, but are pending the HUD-required environmental review. So 4 of the businesses fall under the micro enterprise category, which are eligible for $10,000. These include Kang's Taekwondo, U.S. Trading Co., International Advertising Graphics, and Gourmet Central by South. And the 5th one is the DC Pizza and Wine. It's a small business category that's eligible for $20,000. All applicants have demonstrated over 15% loss during the pandemic and are eligible for this program. So if all are approved today, we will have a remaining balance of $61,667, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Just to kind of keep up with this, I know we have already funded 460, because every time you bring this item, it's contingent about providing the documentation. So have all the previous applicants made?
They've been approving them little by little, but they're all pending some of them are pending the required environmental review, which it usually takes some time,
Okay.
2 months more likely. But yes,
And remind me again, after we, fund the last balance, 60,000, that there is
Yeah,
no extension for
we're
this
done
one.
with
That's
the
it. This will
program.
be the end of this program.
yes,
Okay, thank you.
we're almost there.
This has been quite of a experience, learning experience for us, working with HUD requirements. They're pretty a stickler on rules and such.
They very much are, yeah.
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 And again, thank you for your efforts. I know this has not been an easy program.
Yeah.
And I know there was a push last year.
Yeah.
We were sitting on the funds for
Yeah.
months and nothing was moving, and then you did something.
Victoria did her magic.
Yeah.
And we got all these
Nelson and
applications.
Victoria with info sessions and our marketing campaign has really helped.
It's a lot of hard work. Thank you. Motion to approve?
Do we
Second,
have a second?
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, executive session, it'll be item number 8. Closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.087, Economic Development Deliberation related to Workforce Development Partnership and Funding Proposal Pipe Fitting Training Program. And item 9, closed session pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551.08, Economic Development Deliberation on a creation of a space accelerator program.
We need a motion to move to
Motion.
executive session.
Motion to move to executive session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, right, we need 3 minutes to switch out and turn off the recording.
Okay. There, motion to convene into an open session and take possible action of any items. This was at 7:41.
Do we have a motion to reconvene?
Motion to.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Are you going to read the item?
Yes, give me just one moment. All right, item 10, consideration and action, if any, on the Workforce Development Partnership and Funding Proposal Pipe Fitting Training Program.
I move to approve the request to match the high demand training grant application by TSC in the amount of $150,000.
Do you want to put stipulations?
With the
that we
stipulation
discussed?
with the stipulation that will provide regular updates about the progress of the grant.
I second. Eva.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next item.
Item 10, consideration and action, if any, on Space Accelerator Program.
And I think that's item 11, right?
Item 11.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the Space Accelerator Program as presented in the amount of, where was that?
85,725.
85,025? 725. 85,725.
Do we have a second?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
All right, item
Motion
number 12.
passes.
I'm sorry. Item number 12, announcements.
Do you want to talk about the sales tax?
So, we have a sales tax workshop, it's gonna be posted in Edinburgh. As of right now, Dr. Galvin, let me bring out the list, I'm so sorry. It's gonna be on September 26.
26.
So I will be reaching out via email, just to see if y'all are, Sergio and Cesar also needed. The sales tax workshop,
Sales tax workshop.
I believe you attended on Houston, so you're good. Tracy's good too, yes. So right now it's just Dr. Gowan, Eva, Sergio, and Cesar.
So the sales tax workshop is put on by the Texas Economic Development Council every year, but it's usually towards the end of the year from September to September to December. And fortunately, this year, they're having one of them hosted here in Edinburgh, so it's an opportunity. It really goes, it's a full day. So you'll get your Open Meetings Act refresher, a Public Meetings Act refresher, and then they'll go into the Type A and Type B economic development sales. So it gives you just an overall of what economic development for A and B is.
Is this required?
It is not required.
It's recommended.
But we highly, we kind of like,
Well, we just did the open meetings in the
yeah, but that's
other
just
stuff.
out
I'll
of-
go on behalf of
It
Roseanne.
just goes, it goes deeper onto what,
Yeah,
what's eligible for Type A and
It's
Type
a
B.
good education of economic development for Texas, and they bring like the comptroller's office down, they bring an attorney down. Yeah, so they go through, and so we always encourage the board members to attend. We kind of really force them.
And
Sounds
can
like
you
it.
attend virtually?
They do host it virtually, but
don't
they
know
don't
if they do
have,
anymore.
they don't have it, they haven't announced it. I'll reach out and ask, but
They did for COVID, but.
yeah, they did it.
They did have one virtual in December.
But was it,
The thing is though, it's learn at your own rates. On the virtual, it's like you go as on your own. It's not a live, yeah. So you don't get in my experience, you don't get that information.
All members have to be in person.
Hey, and Corey knows, I brought the comptroller down 10 years ago, so that was in person, and it was great.
Yeah, that was Russell.
I will save the date for.
I'll be reaching out via email.
Thank you.
That way
Yeah.
have the date.
Thank you.
Other than that, I think there's really no other comments on our end. Oh, Rose?
I have a comment, well, not a comment, but as I told Corey before the meeting,
Oh,
and
yes,
Nathan as well, so the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, in case you don't know who that is pretty much the premier foundation, not-for-profit foundation in the United States that focuses on health, wellness, livability, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the City of Brownsville was awarded the Culture of Health Award in 2014. Every year, different cities are chosen, and it's very highly competitive. Basically, the culture of health means that the city or region has set the table so that healthy choices are the easy choices, so to speak. So they have an annual gathering for all the award winners, so all the cities that have won this prestigious award, and they talk interactively, you know, what did you do, what did you do, how could we maybe do that in our city, et cetera, et cetera. It's a really nice conference. And they've invited, the next one is in New Orleans, early June, and they have invited the city to invite 2 people for free, meaning airfare, any kind of transportation, hotel at the Westin in New Orleans, and so forth, all expenses paid to go to the conference. So I have spoken to the mayor and to Helen, and one of those people will be from BCIC. Corey will be checking into that. We're also gonna check to see if we can send more than 2 at our own expense, and I don't know the answer to that, but it is I'm sorry? It is a really, really good conference. And 2 of the recent winners were San Antonio and Houston, so there would be close by collaborators to network with. So
great.
anyway, that's coming up in June
Wonderful.
for free.
That's wonderful. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
The greater and greater
Oh, yes, also I shared with the city and about the opportunity, the Green and Greener conference is happening in Austin next year in June, so they're looking for moderators and speakers. So that's been shared, so hopefully we can get with the city and put up some ideas of, you know, submissions, because it's by the beginning of August, I think August 8th. So, and I think that's it.
Great. We need a motion to adjourn.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Great meeting.
Do I keep these? Pass it?